Pyramiding or Ponzi-scheme. A Ponzi-scheme is an investment fraud that pays existing investors with funds collected from new investors. Ponzi schemes are named after Charles Ponzi. Ponzi used funds from new investors to pay fake returns to earlier investors. Ponzi scheme organizers often promise high returns with a little or no risk. Instead, they use money from new investors to pay earlier investors and may steal some of the money for themselves. So, related na po ni sa kanang scammer. To prevent such criminal and unethical practice and Ponzi scheme, the following measures are highly recommended. First is be cautious when investing hard-earned money and remember that if it is too good to be true, it is mostly like us. So, dapat kita di ta magpatatakag invest sa atong kwarta if kanang di ta sure sa atong di ta mosalig og kuan laing tao. Verify authenticity and legitimacy of company offering investment with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Department of Trade and Industry, the local government unit, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or other pertinent government agency. Always go for low-risk and safe investments such as bank time deposits, reputable mutual funds, government bonds, and etc. Report to the National Bureau of Investigation when red flags begin to manifest. So, kita moduo jud ta sa National Bureau of Investigation if kanang atong kwarta is kanang delikado na ka. Identify theft. Identify theft is the illegal use of someone's personal information for individual gain, also known as identified fraud. This type of theft can cost a victim time and money. Identity thefts target information like names, dates of births, driver's license, social security cards, insurance cards, credit cards, and bank information. They use this stolen information to gain access to existing accounts and open new accounts. So, kaning identify theft, ang i-target nila kuan nimo is imong name, imong information na nya ilang kawato imong information to kanang maghimo sila imong account or para makakuan sila sa imong information and to access sa imong information or sa imong bank account. Refrain from adding strangers as friends or accepting them as friends in social media. So, kita naman tay social media, dapat mamili po ta kinsa atong kasaligan nga friends sa example in Facebook kay sa social media dira man jud na bang ma-access imong mga information. Safeguard all email and social media accounts, particularly the password and PIN. So, kita dapat di po ta maghatag-hatag sa atong mga password, atong mga account para dili ma-access sa mga scammer. Make passwords and PIN codes unique and not too easy to decipher. So, kita mohimo tag PIN or password, dapat kanang dili-dali ra kay ma-access sa mga scammer. If one's email or social media account is compromised or hacked, it is important to report it and inform all contacts to ignore and attempt by posters to scam them. So, kung naman gani mga warning na nangabutang nga na-access imong account or na-hack, dapat mo inform ka dayon sa imong friends or sa imong contacts nga dili mo to dayon kung mo chat ba or ingana. Expense padding is defined simply as the act of falsely increasing the amount of money spent by an employee for whatever purpose. So, ang employee is kanang mapahimo og ilang patasan ang ilang gi-spend nga kwarta taka nila gasta mo ng expense padding. To prevent expense padding, it is vital to enforce the following safeguards and controls strictly. ensure stricter audit of expense liquidation of managers and staff, regard expenses padding as an act of dishonesty punishable under the company's code of discipline, monitor productivity or delivery of outputs by managers and staff receiving cash and advances, allowances. Dapat mag-monitor po ka sa mga delivery sa managers o kanang imong hatag kag mga kanang cash sa imong employee or staff. Requires managers and staff given cash advances and allowances to declare anticipated expenses to which their liquidation reports may be matched. Non-liquidation funds, a cash advance is an amount given to an employee to be used for a future anticipated and budget expenditure. It must be settled or liquidated within a prescribed period, depending on the nature and purpose of the cash advance. So, ang non-liquidation of funds is yatag is cash amount nga yatag sa employee para ma-budget ang mga expenses. Example of cash advances that need to be liquidated are travel expenses, honoraria for consultant, resource person, experts, salaries and wages for casual, positional, project and job order employees, entertainment and representation expenses, petty cash expenses, project or program expenses, materials and supplies, possibly emergency purchases. Here are possible contours and remedies to prevent non-liquidation of expenses by managers and employees. Set a reasonable period to liquidate cash advances as follows: 3 to 5 days upon return or completion of a local activity or travel, 5 to 7 days upon return or completion of an overseas activity or travel. Orient all managers and employees on the procedure for cash advances and corresponding liquidation of expenses. Emphasize the sanction for non-liquidation of expenses. Theft is defined simply as the act of stealing or unlawful taking of property, and 199 theft may be committed against the company or employer and against a fellow employee. So, theft is pagkuha og kanang gamit nga dili imuha. So, sa company, ang kasagaran jud manguha is ang employer, guest og ang ilang fellow employee. Sa tourism industry, ang common nga kuhaon is example is cash, cell phones, food, beverages and many bar items, jewelry and accessories, hotel linens, restaurants, cutlery, vehicles and travel documents. There are numerous ways to prevent thefts in the workplace and tourism establishment. Have a complete wired environment, have an efficient lost and found section, conduct a fair, swift and efficient investigation of theft and losses, coordinate with government agencies and authorities on critical cases, post reminders to employees and guests on safeguarding personal belongings, offer safety deposits boxes for valuable of guests, provide functioning lockers to employees for their personal belongings and valuables, conduct bag search and body frisking at employees' exit. Syndicated crime, also called an organized crime, refers to continuing activities that are planned and controlled by powerful groups and carried out on a large scale. Management of tourism establishments should not be naive in dismissing the possibility that syndicated crimes may occur in their premises. Syndicated crimes is siya mga sindikato nga example is robbery nga giplanuhan na dyan nila. Here are the examples of organized crime: pimping and prostitution in hotels, resort tourist sites, theme parks, gardens, spas and health clubs, drug peddling and trafficking in hotels, restaurants, resorts, bars, nightclubs, airports, tourist sites, schools, and amusement park, illegal gambling and fixing, and hotel casinos. Shopping malls, schools, bars, sporting venues, event centers, human trafficking in airports, condolence, internet shops, bars, schools, tourist sites, spa, nightclubs, smuggling in airports, seaports, bus terminals, and shopping malls. To prevent in syndicated or organized crimes, first is inclusion of syndicated crimes among the grave offenses in the company's code of discipline, proactive background checking of applicants prior to hiring. So, dapat mangita jud tag mga employee nga wa sila mga kuan background through thorough orientation of based on company policies, liaison and active networking with government law or enforcement authorities, provision of a whistleblower policy for employees to freely report or confess serious offenses and crimes, have a completely wired environment, have a dynamic coaching and counseling program for managers, team leaders, and staff.